There have always been rulers who have challenged human life and the human race itself through inhuman acts. Hitler of Germany, Mussolini of Italy, Stalin of Russia, Idi Amin of Uganda, Mengistu Haile Mariam of Ethiopia, Francis Franco of Spain, Augusto Pinochet of Chile, Mao Zedong, Saddam Hussein. A name that is read to be added to this series is that of Cambodia's Pol Pot. Pol Pot led the Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia from 1976 to 1979. While Hitler, Mussolini and Stalin were celebrated, Pol Pot was not much in the news and debate. But Pol Pot is described as the Hitler of Asia. Crores of people have died and lived in hell as victims of the selfish rule of these despotic rulers. Born in a family that migrated from China to Cambodia, Pol Pot became fascinated with Marxism when he came to Paris to study. He was a member of the French Communist Party during his studies and returned to Cambodia to form the Khmer Rouge movement. The Khmer Rouge is a movement that emerged in Cambodia in the 1970s under the leadership of Pol Pot, a group of people attracted to the radical communism led by Mao Zedong. Pol Pot took control of Cambodia, which was moving from a monarchy to a democracy, with the help of China. In 1975, the Pol Pot regime began. He was the Prime Minister of Cambodia until 1979, Secretary of the Khmer Rouge movement until 1981. Pol Pot killed 25% of Cambodia's population in the name of Marxist thought. Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge rule is considered a dark chapter in Cambodian history. Pol Pot ruled Cambodia for only 3 years, 8 months and 20 days. But more than 20 lakh people were killed during that period. Estimates say that only 1.5 lakh farmers have been killed in Cambodia. Cambodia is still littered with the skulls of murdered men. Even today, when the ground is plowed, at least one skull is said to be found as a reminder of the Khmer Rouge era. It may seem like an exaggeration, but Cambodia during the Khmer Rouge era was so terrible. Pol Pot was not the only one who posed a challenge to the farmers. Pol Pot also enforced the ban on cinema and theater in Russia implemented by Stalin. It is said that more than 300 films were produced during the Khmer Rouge regime. The Pol Pot movie, which made everything Champel, was not spared. But about 30 films and a few human beings survived it. Pol Pot was ousted by the Vietnamese military in 1979, temporarily ending Khmer Rouge rule. Pol Pot died on April 15, 1998. Pol Pot's death came 2 days before the 23rd anniversary of the Khmer Rouge takeover of Cambodia. Doubts that it was a heart attack remain to this day. Cambodia was renamed Kampuchea by Pol Pot. Later, with the death of Pol Pot, Cambodia became Cambodia itself. Cambodia's transition from a monarchy to a democracy was dominated by peasants who were killed under Pol Pot, a modern-day Hitler who seized power with the help of the Chinese Communist Party. Their goal was agrarian socialism. Everyone was forcibly removed from the city to the countryside, and those who stood in the way were tied behind their backs, hung on ropes, and mercilessly beaten. When he lost consciousness, he dipped his head in dirty water and beat him again when he regained consciousness. He was killed by holding his head with palm fronds, which were abundantly available to save the bullets. Little children were mercilessly beaten to death on trees, and 300 to 450 bodies each were dumped in more than 1,000 pits. Their skulls, bone fragments and old clothes recovered from these graves are on display today in the 7-story Holocaust Museum. On August 17, 1975, the terrorist Pol Pot, the leader of Democratic Kampuchea, ordered the creation of a security prison called S-21. It was here that people were brutally interrogated. Confessions were recorded and murders were carried out. The confessions of all those who were killed were recorded there. American troops in Vietnam ended the Khmer Rouge regime on January 7, 1979. When Vietnamese soldiers arrived at the prison, known as S-21, they found 14 rotting bodies, including that of a woman. The dead bodies of those who were killed were rotted beyond recognition. They had to be buried there. A primary school at that time was converted into a temporary jail. To prevent the inmates from escaping from the 3-story building, a wire net was put up like a bird cage. Chained to an iron bed, they were beaten to death one by one. According to the figures kept there, 154 confessions were recorded in 1975, 2,250 in 1976, 2,350 in 1977 and 5,765 in 1978. This does not include the more than 20,000 children killed by the Khmer Rouge. Even today in Cambodia only 40% are men. 60% are women. This is the rest of the newspaper of the Khmer Rouge regime.